Yeah, I saw an awesome living room set last time.
Now, how do we convince Mom to do it?
Come on, guys, let's load up to go to Jim's Furniture.
For McCurtain County View, this is JC, and with me in McCurtain County's office downtown IDABEL is Dr. Ken Mowery. How are you, sir?
JC.
Nice accent. Something tells me you're Oklahoman?
I was born here.
Born not just in Oklahoma, but in McCurtain County.
In McCurtain County at Moon.
Oh, there you go. As in McCurtain County View. So, can I ask you how long ago that was? 70s? 80s?
I'm 70.
Okay.
So
my mom's in the 70s. All right.
It was back a while ago.
And you still have some property out here?
I do. I have a home just south of town on 259.
Okay. Now, we're talking about a book today, and this is about real estate, so we're going to shift gears a little bit. You've done quite a few different things, and you have decided to write a first in a series of 5 books in a mystery series.
Yes.
The first right here is called Mosquito Gap, and this one just came out.
Yes, it came out in the latter part of April.
Okay. And we're showing this for a few reasons. One of this, you're going to be here on the 31st in IDABEL, the brand new IDABEL Public Library, Saturday from 10 to noon, doing a book signing.
I'm anxious to see that library. I haven't seen it yet.
We were there before they even got the furniture in and all that, so it's nice to see the first few months, more and more people coming in, more cars filling up, so this is going to be exciting. And you'll be a big draw, too. A lot of people want to know what's going on. This book will be available also that day if they want a signed one.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, tell us a little bit about this. The premise is there's these 3 characters. They're sisters. The oldest one's a college student, okay, and Amanda, decides that she's going to be an engineer. Now, this is kind of the girl's pretty. She doesn't look like she should be the engineer type, but her brain comes before anything else. And her 2 younger twin sisters, Megan and Amelia, they pretty much follow her along. But when I was reading this, it gave me the impression of, remember the old TV show, Route 66? The 2 boys? And the saying was, my mom used to tell me that they never found trouble, trouble always found them. Would you say it's kind of the same thing with these 3 sisters?
It is.
Okay. The beginning of the book starts off with them looking back at something they did while in Hawaii. And it was just kind of like to give the impression to the reader that here we go again, they're about to come upon another adventure, which takes place in Nevada, which we'll talk about in a minute. But looking at your bio in the back here, I just want to read a couple things. Of course, a doctor. What's your PhD in?
It's in family counseling.
Okay.
And I also have degrees in archaeology as well.
See, archaeology, veteran, combat veteran, piloted some planes and a helicopter or 2. Electronics.
Not as a military pilot. I was a commercial pilot.
Well, that's still impressive. That's very, very impressive. Of course, also things like hunting and fishing. Marksman. I watched a marksman show on TV last night. Excellent. Now, if you were watching Top Shot, History Channel, but very interesting stuff. So they always say an author writes what he knows. Because the book started out with the main character looking back, Amanda, looking back to her summer with her sisters in Hawaii during a ping pong championship. Are you into ping pong? Do you do any surfing? I'm just curious here.
No, that's just one of the things that I came up with.
Okay. So
I just watched a ping pong championship on television.
Okay, fascinating stuff. Now, Amanda and her sisters stumble upon Nevada, and some things happen. Without giving away too much, because this is a mystery, can you tell us how it begins and then what it leads to?
Initially, I'd like to mention that when I was career military, and I was stationed at Fallon, Nevada, temporarily.
Okay.
And on my weekends, I would go out and do rock hunting. I cut and polish rocks. And
amateur geologist.
Stones. Yes, I minored in geology in an undergraduate degree. I found that several of the miners were very close-minded about you even asking them questions, but we did run across one old miner. He had a placer mine right at the foot of this mountain, and there was a large crack in the mountain. And he called it, and we began to call it as well, Mosquito Gap.
Okay.
And he showed us a garnet that he had found in there that was almost the size of a softball. It was green. Since that time, I believe that it's probably a different stone.
Okay.
And I explained that in the book. But this part of it is true. We did, 3 of us did meet this miner. We did help him to rebuild his whole placer mining setup. We rebuilt the flume, we rebuilt his riffle table. Even the engine that he used to vibrate the riffle table underneath, we took it into the base and overhauled it for him. So we became pretty close friends. That's how I got the initial idea for Mosquito Gap. Now, as far as the 3 granddaughters of the archaeology professor, and again, I did teach archaeology, the 3 granddaughters in the book, one is graduating from college, or has just graduated. The other 2 are still in college. One is studying archaeology to follow after her grandfather. And the other is a computer scientist, and a very good one. I've taken the key elements of my own 3 granddaughters' personalities or characteristics and used those as a kernel for expanding upon. And
Do they know that?
they know that. And it's really served to increase their self-esteem. One thing, young people are very cruel. And 2 of them, the twins, are 6 feet 5 inches tall. I believe
And athletic, you said.
very athletic. So that's what began the book
Okay.
and began my writing fiction.
How long ago did you have this in your head that you wanted to maybe write a book or a series of books?
I began to write when my wife suggested that I write down my experiences in Vietnam.
Okay.
That was not fiction, and it was not something I'd want to publish.
Yeah.
But I found that I could write and express myself that way. But writing fiction was something entirely different. I never knew whether I would be able to develop a plot.
You never, as a kid or as a student, thought of wandering and writing down fantasy or fiction ideas?
I wrote short stories, and one of my teachers collected all those and had a book of them when she retired. I don't know whatever happened to them, but there were about 40 of them. I'd like to see what I wrote like when I was in the 6th grade.
Okay. So a little of your history. We talked a little bit of the geography and the geology. Let's talk about the history, because in the story, this takes place modern day, but the girls have to do some fact-finding and digging in history of that area, Fallon, Nevada. Can you mention any about that?
Very little can I mention that will
Okay.
not give away some of the plot, but it is something that